Everybody, and welcome back to another fun and exciting intermediate math class. In today's lesson, we'll be in chapter 10, lesson number 5, and that's on page 419. Page 419, we're going to be talking about multiplying polynomials, specifically multiplying polynomials by monomials. So the way I want to start this lesson is by talking about baby math. You remember baby math, right? It used to be so easy. Well, actually, it used to be so hard, when you first started to learn how to do it. And now you're like, oh, I wish I had those problems again. I wish I could do those simple multiplication problems. Now I'm having to do algebra and all this other stuff. But I just want to review this kind of method for multiplying. It's an algorithm. It's a form of multiplying. So what we did was we would take 4 times 3. That gives us 12. We'd put a 2 down here. We'd carry the 1, right? And then we would say 4 times 6, and that's 24. And then we would add the 1, and we'd get 25. So our answer would be 252. And now I'm not trying to, give you a hard time if you struggle with this, but I call it baby math because we've progressed past that. We're now working on algebra stuff, okay? So what I want to do is I want to kind of take this concept from baby math and we're going to move it into algebra. So now what happens is we get something like this, right? So we get 12 times 12x plus 1. You're like, wait a second, time out. Never seen that before. Exactly, we've never done this before, so we need to figure out what are two methods that we could use. The first method is we can go back to baby school. Yeah, we could do that. So what we could do is we could do it the same way we did our baby school problem right here. All right, so let's just try it. So let's take this and set it up the same way. So here it is right here, 12x plus 1, and there's our 12 underneath of it, and let's see how this works. So we take the 12 times the 1, and we get 12. There's nothing to carry over to the next one. We just write the whole 12 right here. We actually would take that plus sign and bring it down here. And then we take the 12 and we multiply it times 12x. 12 times 12 is 144. Nothing times x is just x. So that would be your answer right there. 144x plus 12. Okay? So you might say, oh, I like that. That's pretty easy. I'll just use the baby school method because it's already something that I know. But did you look at the other method? The other method is the algebra method, and guess what? That's where you're going. You're going to algebra class here in the next year or two. So we want to be working, we want to kind of get rid of the baby school method, and we want to focus on the algebra method. So what is the algebra method called? The algebra method is called distributing. So we want to do what's called distribute this 12 to these other things. When you distribute something, it means that you give one to everybody. Everybody gets one. If you're going to distribute Bibles on the street, that means that everybody that you see gets a Bible. Okay, you get a Bible, and you get a Bible, and you get a Bible. Everybody gets a Bible. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 12 and we're going to distribute it to everybody. In other words, this term gets a 12 and this term gets a 12. Okay, so let's do it one by one. The first one we're going to do is 12 times, that's what this means in algebra, 12 times 12x. 12 times 12 is 144. X times nothing is x. Then we have our plus sign, and then we distribute the 12 to the 1. 1 times 12 is 12. Done. Now, if you'll notice, we got the same answer, 144x plus 12. 144x plus 12. And you might say, that other method wasn't bad. I'm just going to use the baby school method. Well, I will tell you that as you go, you're going to see them written this way. You're not going to see them written this way. So in other words, you're going to have to take the time to rewrite them and then do them the other way. And this can get a little bit complicated doing it the baby school method. So I'm going to encourage you to kind of leave that behind. Let's not do this method right now, and let's work toward distributing. I think it's going to pay off in the end. So let's keep practicing, and let's do another one. So here we go. We've got another problem, and our problem is x times, that's what the parentheses mean. Remember, in math, there's three ways. Well, in algebra, there's three ways to write times. We could either say 2 times x and not write anything. We could say 2 parenthesis x, or we could say 2 dot x. And really, this way is going away. You're not going to see this very much in algebra. These are the two ways right here that we express multiplication in algebra. You'll see the dot sometimes, but these two ways. So whenever you see this parenthesis right here, you need to think multiply. So we're taking the x and we're going to distribute it. We're going to distribute it times each one. There's one, there's another one, there's another one. There's 3 this time. So you've got to make sure that all 3 get it. So we'll say x times this first term. X times, and remember there's always a 1 in front of that, and there's always an exponent of 1 right there too, right? So these are important things to remember as we're multiplying here. So what is 1 times 9? It's 9. What is x to the first times x squared? We add, so we get x cubed. We take the minus sign, we'll just bring that down. Now we distribute here. 1 times 4, 4. X to the first times x to the first. We just add that and we would get x squared. And then we take this and we distribute it to the 3. We'll just add the plus sign there. 1 times 3 is 3. X times nothing is x. There is your new answer. 9x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x. I have a feeling you're going to be very happy because this is going to be the last one that we do, and we're going to have a nice short little video here for you. However, this one is a little bit tricky because watch what we're multiplying by. We're multiplying by a negative 2. It's very important because what's going to happen is you have to take the sign with the 2. So in other words, we're going to distribute a negative 2. So negative 2 times positive 14 is going to give us negative 28. Then we don't have anything, so we don't have any x's with it, so it's just going to be x squared. Now, when I was just taking that plus and pulling it down, I can't do that anymore, because look, now the negative 2 times the positive 5 is going to switch that sign. Negative 2 times positive 5 equals negative 10, and then x, because we don't have anything. And then we'll do it here. Negative times negative is going to equal a positive. Negative times negative equals a positive. 2 times 6 equals 12. So that would be my answer right there. Negative 28x squared minus 10x plus 12. Be very, 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 very careful with that negative sign right there, because I promise you that you will try to get that answer wrong. You'll do your best to get that answer wrong. You will try to mess up a sign somewhere. I've just seen many, many students make mistakes there when they're trying to distribute the negative 2. They'll maybe distribute to the first one, and then they won't distribute it to the next 2. Or maybe they'll just forget to distribute it to the whole thing. Or there's all kinds of different mistakes that can happen there with that negative sign. So please take special care with the negative signs when you're distributing them through. All right, like I said, you're going to be happy with me because today is a short lesson. Make sure that you really pay attention there, though, because it is very important that you kind of understand, okay, what's happening with the distributing. I'm taking what's out front, and I'm taking that and giving it to each one separately. Okay, then you combine it all, and that's your answer. That's all I've got for you. Hope you learned something there. If you missed anything, slide it back, watch it again. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.